When a former Browns CEO reportedly calls the shots, even from the outside, it says everything about how dire things have become. Dillon Gabriel's performances have eroded trust at every level, but it's rare to see executive influence reach this deep into football operations. That kind of intervention signals panic and desperation.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
Gabriel's inability to grow, to command the huddle, or to handle the spotlight has ignited tension between loyalty and logic. And in that tension, one name keeps resurfacing. Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback many believe should already be leading this team. Cleveland's identity crisis has reached its peak. Leadership is being tested, not just on the field, but in the front office. Replacing Gabriel with Sanders isn't just a personnel move. It's an organizational reset. It sends a message that performance matters more than politics, and potential counts only when it delivers results. For a franchise haunted by years of mediocrity, this decision could finally separate those chasing comfort from those chasing championships. The Cleveland Browns just got rocked by the Jets in a game that felt less like a loss and more like a complete unraveling. And while fans were still processing how the team managed to fumble another winnable game, chaos was already brewing behind closed doors. Not just within the coaching staff or the locker room, but from a voice outside the building with more influence than expected. A former Browns CEO is now reportedly pressing head coach Kevin Stefanski to make a bold, potentially season-defining move. Bench Dillon Gabriel and replace him with Shedeur Sanders. This isn't a casual suggestion. It's pressure. Intense, top-down, legacy-shifting pressure. And it's not hard to understand why. Gabriel, through 5 starts, has managed to answer exactly 0 of the questions that followed him into the season. His development has flatlined. The Browns were hoping to see growth, leadership, flashes of composure. What they got instead was panic, indecision, and the kind of hesitation that kills drives and seasons. He hasn't just failed to inspire. He's actively drained confidence from the offense. The Jets game was just the tipping point. That performance wasn't just a bad day. It was a referendum. The kind of outing that forces even the most patient executives to say, enough. And now, with the season already hanging by a thread, the Browns are facing a crossroads. The internal debate is real. There's a split forming inside the organization. Some want to cut bait on the Gabriel project immediately, hand the job to Sanders, and salvage what's left of the year. Others are paralyzed by the optics. Benching a guy you just committed to sends a message, and not just to the locker room, but to ownership, the media, and the league. It's a move that says, we got it wrong. For a coach like Stefanski, that message could be a career ender. If Sanders doesn't perform right away, the criticism will be relentless. The decision will be dissected, picked apart, and weaponized. But if they stick with Gabriel and the team keeps losing, that's not much safer. The longer they wait, the more the fan base turns. The more the players tune out. And the harder it becomes to salvage anything from this season. It's not just about wins and losses anymore. It's about direction. The Browns can't afford another year of quarterback limbo. And from everything we've seen and everything we haven't, Gabriel just isn't that guy. His processing is slow. His awareness under pressure is almost non-existent. Defensive coordinators don't need complex schemes to rattle him. Basic pressure packages do the job. His footwork breaks down. His reads disappear. And his confidence? It's already eroding. Compare that to Shedeur Sanders. Sanders hasn't even taken an NFL snap yet, but he's already being described as NFL ready. Not because of hype, but because of tape. His time at Colorado was marked by exactly the traits Gabriel lacks: calm under pressure, command of the offense, high football IQ, and leadership that's obvious before the ball is even snapped. Sanders processes fast. He keeps plays alive without panicking. He delivers in big moments. He leads with poise and presence. Everything you want in a franchise quarterback. He's shown it over and over. Even as a college player, He had the CEO of the offense energy that Gabriel is clearly missing at the pro level. This is what's fueling the push from the ex-CEO. It's not just emotional overreaction after a bad game. It's a recognition that the Browns are sitting on a quarterback who might be able to turn the season around, while clinging to one who clearly can't. There's a lot at stake here. Financially, emotionally, competitively, this decision touches everything. Replacing Gabriel with Sanders could immediately energize the fan base. It could boost ticket sales, jersey revenue, media coverage. It could turn the Browns from a weekly embarrassment into a compelling story overnight. It's not just about the product on the field. It's about the franchise's image. The Browns have been trapped in a loop of quarterback chaos for years. A decisive move now could finally break that cycle. But waiting? That just tightens the noose. You can already feel the tension inside the building. Stefanski is trapped. If he benches Gabriel, he's admitting his guy failed. If he doesn't and the team keeps sliding, he might not even make it to the offseason. There's no easy way out of this. Just risk versus risk. And for what it's worth, Sanders isn't being hyped as some miracle fix. The case being made is rational. It's based on performance, readiness, and leadership. It's based on the clear fact that Gabriel, at this point, has regressed past the point of reasonable patience. The Browns can't keep waiting for something that isn't coming. Sanders gives them a shot at energy, at belief, at momentum. He checks the boxes Gabriel never has. And more importantly, he's a quarterback fans can rally behind. A leader who can walk into the huddle and own it. Cleveland hasn't had that in years. There's still a sliver of time to salvage this season. But every week the Browns stay committed to a quarterback who can execute. That window gets smaller. The schedule won't wait. The division won't wait. The fans definitely won't wait. And here's where the stakes get existential. If the Browns fumble this quarterback decision, again, it won't just cost them games. It could cost them years. Multiple seasons burned trying to force a fit that never worked. Reputational damage. Loss of confidence from players, fans, and future free agents. A team that's already teetering would finally collapse into full-on irrelevance. This moment matters. And yeah, the risk is real. But so is the opportunity. Shedeur Sanders isn't a desperate gamble. He's a calculated bet with upside. The kind of quarterback who doesn't just play in the NFL. He thrives in it. The leadership, the mechanics, the football mind. All of it points toward a guy who can handle the weight of a franchise. The Browns need that. Now. Not after another 2 losses. Not once the season's mathematically over. Not after Gabriel gives another monotone press conference, full of "we'll fix it" soundbites. Now. Cleveland is tired of waiting. Tired of promises. Tired of seeing other teams take bold swings while they stay stuck in limbo. There's no more room for excuses. No more time for hesitation. Dillon Gabriel had 5 games to show something, anything. Instead, he showed exactly why this team is spiraling. The decision ahead is clear. Not easy, but clear. Shedeur Sanders needs to start. And if the Browns are serious about building a real future, one fans can finally get behind. It's the only move that makes sense. If you've had enough of the quarterback carousel in Cleveland, smash that like button. Let us know in the comments. Are you ready to see Shedeur under center? And if you're still holding on to hope for Gabriel, we want to hear why. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next twist in this Brown saga, because let's be honest, it's far from over. Here's the brutal truth. The Cleveland Browns are once again on the edge of becoming the punchline of another NFL season. And at the center of it all is a quarterback who cannot deliver when it matters. Dillon Gabriel wasn't just bad against the Jets. He was unplayable. The kind of performance that doesn't just raise red flags, it sets off sirens. Let's be real, this wasn't a one-time collapse. This was the culmination of everything that's been brewing since week 1. Gabriel has had 5 starts, 5 opportunities to show progress, to demonstrate growth, to look even remotely like someone who could lead an NFL franchise. And what do the Browns have to show for it? No poise, no field vision, no leadership. It's not just what Gabriel isn't. It's what he should be by now. This isn't a league that waits around for guys to figure it out mid-season. You're either improving or you're getting replaced. And after this last loss, Gabriel isn't just behind the curve. He is the curve. The one Stefanski keeps trying to bend while the rest of the NFL speeds past. Which brings us back to the pressure cooker brewing inside the Browns organization. That ex-CEO leaning on Stefanski to bench Gabriel? That's not just a disgruntled former exec tossing his opinion around. That's a man who knows how fast the wheels fall off when a franchise refuses to course correct. And right now, the Browns are headed straight into the wall. There's only one lifeline left. His name is Shedeur Sanders. Now, let's be clear. Sanders isn't a fantasy. He's not being hyped because of a famous last name or viral clips. He's being brought into the conversation because the tape speaks volumes. He's been tested in pressure-packed situations at Colorado and came out calm, precise, and confident. His mechanics are clean. His reads are fast. His throws have zip. He's shown the one thing Gabriel hasn't: command, leadership, maturity, an understanding of the moment. That's the difference. Gabriel looks like the moment's too big. Sanders owns it. So when you hear that people inside the building are already pushing for the change, you understand why. They're not trying to stir up drama. They're trying to save the season. Because for all the talk of patience and development, the Browns are out of time. This isn't a long-term rebuilding year. This is a roster with enough talent to compete. And they're watching it all go to waste because the quarterback can't function under center. Let's stop pretending this is about waiting it out. That narrative is dead. Gabriel isn't trending upward. He's stalling. Stuck. You can almost see the hesitation in every dropback. The moment the pocket collapses, he curls up. His instincts are slow. His decisions are slower. He doesn't see the full field. And when he does, it's usually too late. And the worst part? He knows it. That defeatist press conference after the Jets game? That wasn't just a bad media moment. That was a window into the mind of a quarterback who's lost the plot. There was no fight in him. No leadership. Just vague answers, downcast eyes, and a tone that said everything the words didn't. How can a team follow that? Quarterbacks don't have to be perfect. They have to inspire. And Gabriel has inspired nothing but dread. Shedeur, on the other hand, has the kind of presence you can't teach. Teammates gravitate toward him. Coaches respect him. He's not wide-eyed. He's not panicked. He's ready. And whether or not Stefanski wants to admit it, that's the kind of leadership this team desperately needs. But here's the risk, and the real reason this decision is so loaded. Starting Sanders means owning the fact that your current plan failed. It means the coaching staff has to explain why Gabriel got 5 starts when the signs were there from the beginning. It means admitting that development is a luxury this team can't afford right now. And it also means risking Stefanski's job. Because if Sanders comes in and flops, it's on him. Not the ex-CEO. Not the front office. Him. But that's the paradox. If he doesn't make the change, he's still toast. There's no version of this season where Gabriel stays under center and the Browns miraculously turn things around. It's already falling apart. Fans are fed up. Players are frustrated. The whispers in the locker room are growing louder by the day. And the second that stadium starts chanting for Shedeur, it's over. Let's talk business. Because this move isn't just football, it's franchise positioning. Sanders brings more than talent. He brings marketability, charisma, hope, a spark that turns Sunday losses into primetime relevance. You don't think the front office sees the financial upside? Jerseys, tickets, buzz. Sanders brings energy off the field that Gabriel simply does not. The longer the Browns delay, the more that energy fades. The more fans tune out. The more people stop caring. And when that happens, it's not just a quarterback change, it's a full-on teardown. The organization has a chance, right now, to shift the trajectory. This isn't about coddling a rookie anymore. It's about finding out who's worth building around. Shedeur Sanders is that guy until proven otherwise. And if you're Stefanski, you'd better find out before someone else is making those decisions for you. The problem with waiting too long isn't just missing the playoffs. It's missing the window to learn. Even if Sanders struggles at first, you've at least got data. You've got tape. You've got clarity. But if you keep dragging Gabriel out there, doing the same thing week after week, you get nothing. No progress. No momentum. Just delay. And delay is death in the NFL. This isn't just a QB controversy. This is a defining moment for the franchise. Do they double down on a failing experiment out of fear? Or do they pivot with purpose, knowing the risk, but understanding the reward? If you're a Browns fan, you already know the answer. You've lived through too many false starts, too many wasted seasons, too many quarterbacks who weren't it. And now you're being asked to sit through another one, just because ownership doesn't want to admit a misfire? Enough. Dillon Gabriel's performance against the Jets wasn't the beginning of the end. It was the end of the end. The ex-CEO pushing for a switch knows it. The locker room knows it. The fans definitely know it. Now it's up to Stefanski to stop trying to protect a decision that clearly failed and start protecting the team. Because if he doesn't act now, the Browns won't just lose another season. They'll lose the last bit of credibility they still have left. So, Cleveland, where do you go from here? Do you let fear dictate your future? Or do you roll the dice with a quarterback who's shown more leadership from the sidelines than the starter has in 5 full games? At this point, it's not just a quarterback controversy. It's a full-on identity crisis for the Cleveland Browns. And every second Dillon Gabriel remains under center, the more it feels like the franchise is stuck in denial. The game against the Jets didn't just expose flaws. It confirmed everything critics, fans, and frankly, even some teammates have feared. Gabriel is not ready. And worse, he may never be. You watch him, and it's not even the mistakes that are the most telling. It's the hesitation, the lack of conviction, the way he locks onto his first read, panics under pressure, and collapses the moment a defensive end breathes down his neck. He looks unsure, overwhelmed, like he's counting the seconds until it's over. And this isn't just a bad game or even a bad start to the season. This is a pattern, a trend. 5 starts in, and Gabriel hasn't shown growth. He's shown regression. There's no upward trajectory, no breakout moment, not even a spark. It's flatlining. And while Stefanski tries to sell fans on the development narrative, nobody's buying it anymore. Especially not the former Browns CEO who's now very publicly urging the franchise to make the move it's too afraid to make. Bench Gabriel. Start Shedeur Sanders. That kind of behind-the-scenes pressure doesn't happen unless people in power are deeply concerned. This isn't just a passionate executive with opinions. This is someone who sees the long-term cost of staying silent while the team spirals. Because make no mistake, this is a spiral. The locker room feels it. The fans feel it. And you can bet Stefanski feels it too, even if he won't say it out loud. But here's the thing, doing nothing is a choice. And it's the most dangerous one they could make right now. Let's talk about that internal debate, the supposed split within the Browns front office. On one side, you have people pushing hard for a reset. They've watched the tape. They've listened to the locker room. They've seen enough to know if the Browns are serious about salvaging this season or any season, Gabriel can't be the guy. Not now. Maybe not ever. On the other side, the cautious crowd. The ones who fear the optics. Because making a quarterback change 5 games, it means you're admitting failure. It means the entire QB plan from the offseason, scouting, drafting, developing, has fallen apart. That's a hard pill to swallow, especially for a franchise that's been haunted by bad quarterback decisions for decades. But you know what's worse than admitting failure? Doubling down on it. Shedeur Sanders is sitting there, ready to go. And this isn't some wild fan-fueled fantasy. It's a logical, football-driven decision. The traits are all there. NFL-level arm, composure under pressure, sharp decision-making, and actual leadership. That last part? It matters more than anything. Because right now, Gabriel is not leading. He's surviving. And not doing a great job at that either. Sanders, on the other hand, brings presence. He brings clarity. And based on what we've seen from him at Colorado, he brings a much higher football IQ than Gabriel has shown through 5 starts. He doesn't fold under pressure. He doesn't need the perfect pocket. He keeps his eyes downfield, keeps his team gauged, and makes things happen. When things break down, he steps up. Gabriel just shuts down Shedeur. And here's where this gets even more urgent. The Browns aren't just losing games. They're losing time. The longer they stick with Gabriel, the harder it becomes to turn the ship around. The schedule's not getting easier. The locker room is already tense. The fan base is done waiting for something that's clearly not coming. There's a reason the business side of the organization is reportedly leaning toward a QB switch. They see what's at stake commercially. You start Sanders, you inject life into the brand. You give fans something to rally behind. Jersey sales go up. Ticket demand surges. Suddenly, Cleveland becomes interesting again, not because they're a train wreck, but because they're trying something bold, something hopeful. And right now, that's what this franchise needs more than anything. Hope. The longer you let Gabriel flounder, the more apathetic the fan base becomes. There's no outrage anymore, just resignation. The worst emotion a sports franchise can generate is indifference. And that's exactly where things are headed if the Browns keep pretending this is fixable. It's not. No one's saying Sanders is going to walk in and go undefeated. But he doesn't have to. What he brings is a fresh start. A new leader with a different tone. Someone who doesn't look like he's crumbling with every snap. Someone who's not afraid to command a huddle, not just participate in it. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. If Stefanski waits too long, the decision might get made for him. This is a coach on the hot seat, whether he admits it or not. The leash is getting shorter. And with the season slipping away, the tolerance for waiting on Gabriel is fading fast. Every poor outing, every wasted possession, every game that ends in another post-game shrug from Gabriel chips away at Stefanski's credibility. This isn't a rebuild year. This is a team that should be competitive, that wants to win, that can't afford to waste time babysitting a quarterback who can't read a blitz. The switch to Shedeur Sanders isn't a panic move. It's a purposeful one, a signal to the locker room and the fans that Cleveland is done settling, that the organization is finally ready to try something that might actually work, instead of sticking with something they know doesn't. And if you're still in the let's wait a few more weeks camp, ask yourself this. What are you waiting for? A miracle? A sick start where Gabriel finally sees the field clearly? A spark that just hasn't shown up in the last 5 games? The NFL doesn't wait. And if Cleveland keeps dragging its feet, it won't just cost them a season, it'll cost them years. Start Sanders now, and you have a shot at turning things around. At worst, you learn what he is, and you get a head start on building for next year. At best, you find out he's the guy. And for once, Cleveland can start planning forward, not backward. No more hesitation. No more deflecting. The clock is ticking. You've heard the reports. You've seen the performances. You know what needs to happen. So what's the holdup? Let us know in the comments. Do you think Stefanski finally makes the switch? Or are the Browns about to dig themselves even deeper? Hit the like button if you've seen enough of Gabriel's 5-game meltdown. And if you're ready for the Shedeur Sanders era, make sure you subscribe. Because this is the kind of crossroads that defines franchises. And one way or another, Cleveland's about to make a choice they can't undo.